Okay guys, so today we're going to be working on pulling, and I feel like a lot of people, when they think of pulling, all they're thinking about is distance, just how far can you throw it. But that's not really what pulling is about. Pulling is more about placing it where you want it to go and doing what your team needs you to do. A lot of times the best pulls are not the ones that go the farthest, but they're the ones that go in a very specific spot. There are also a lot of different types of pulls. It doesn't just have to go straight and flat. You can make it roll, you can make it do a whole bunch of things. So today we're going to be going over the different types of pulls and why you might use one over a different one. Also, if you have access to a turf field like this, or especially a gymnasium that's indoors, it makes working on pulling and distance so much easier because you can consistently work at the same spot every time and you can measure your progress. If you don't have a consistent spot, it can definitely be frustrating because you don't actually know if you're making progress or not. But if you have a field like this, then you really know if you're making improvement because these lines tell you exactly how far you're throwing. Working on distance can be frustrating. I know because when I first started, I worked on distance so much, and it takes months and months and months to improve a whole 5 yards. And that can be really frustrating because there are other aspects of this game where if you work really hard for a few months, you make like a huge amount of progress. But for pulling and distance, it just takes a long time to build that up. So don't get frustrated. Play in a field where you have consistency, and it makes this process a lot easier. Also, you can definitely tell that it's really windy, and the wind doesn't make an excuse. So many people, they say, oh, it's windy, I can't throw today. Well, our sport is generally played outside. You can't make the wind an excuse, so we have to learn to be able to deal with it. So it's windy, but we're gonna deal with it. So yeah, let's go. So unlike normal throws where you want your form to be really fast and quick, with pulls it's the exact opposite. You want to have the biggest load possible because this is going to allow you to get the most momentum into it. And with your footwork, normally you can only use a pivot. Well, this time with pulls, the pivot doesn't apply. So you want to be able to generate as much momentum as you can into the throw. Alright, so I feel like there are 3 main types of pulls that I use. The first one is a distance pull, where I just want to get it really far back into the end zone. The second one is one that's like really hard to catch. So I'll throw it like with a really deep angle to try to make it really hard to catch. And the third is to pin it on the sideline, or just an accuracy pull. The more of these 3 things that you can do in a pull, the better your pull is. The best pull probably is one that goes really far, is really hard to catch, and is really accurate, placed on the sideline or something. Also, a very underrated pull is a roller. The ones that roll in the wind, they can many times be better than one where you just muscle it into the wind because they'll end up going farther. Okay, so here are some pulls for distance. And when you're trying to go for distance, what you're trying to do is basically you're trying to just really get everything out of your footwork. You're trying to make everything as efficient as possible, making your arm move as fast as possible, making your weight go from back to front as fast as possible. You're trying to just get every ounce of energy forward. That is your goal. And when you do that, you get your most powerful throw. Okay, so let's talk about the flat approach for a second. So assuming you can throw all of your throws at the same max speed, your flat is going to go farther than any of the throw because it has the most efficient path. It's going straight, whereas something like this, it's gonna it has to come all the way around. So you have to throw this throw way, way, way harder to get the same distance as something that's going flat. However, with pulls, the distance isn't all that matters. It's also important to be able to make it hard to catch for the opponent so that you have a chance of getting a turnover on it. So many times you have to decide whether you want to throw an extra 5 yards by throwing flat and making it easy to catch, or throwing angled and making it really hard to catch and being a little shorter. So for a roller, you want to throw with an angle facing down so that it hits the ground and keeps on rolling. So just like that, many times the rollers are actually going to go farther than when you just put everything that you have into it. A big thanks to A Glimmering Wreck for being a sponsor of this channel. They make team uniforms. I've been really happy with them. If you need jerseys for your team, you should definitely check them out. If you still have questions or if this video helped you learn how to pool for the first time, definitely let me know in the comments section below. If you're really struggling, check out my practice support feature on my website. Like this video if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to share this with anyone you think could benefit from it. This is Ultimate101. I'll see you next time.